Then on to the next segment. This is also a very interesting one: leadership and growth.
Okay, let's unravel what you've got for me here.
The unraveling part:
Yeah.
maturity, reflection, and mental and emotional intelligence.
Okay. Okay, shoot your question here. Shoot your question here.
Let's start with let's try to tie growth and maturity together. I because I believe, right, um, a lot of people who are coming to my age, 22,
Yeah.
or lower, basically in their teens and growing up now,
Yeah.
they often have uh, it's, I guess, it's a growth curve
Yeah.
of understanding what maturity really means and growing with it
Yeah.
and gaining the maturity, right?
Yeah.
You have a certain way through your experiences to phrase it nicely. The direct relationship between growth and maturity.
I think firstly, look, I would have to explore this question with you. So let's do it together, right? First of all, growth has nothing to do with age,
Yes.
right? You should, not you can, you should be growing at all stages of life, right?
Yes.
There's a word, it's called you should be impressionable all the time, right? So you can, therefore you can grow at any stage of your life, that's for sure. um, so now that's there, so that's the growth part. Maturity, like, be precise here, Amir. So when you say maturity, is it maturity to really absorb what comes your way and take it for what it is, and learn from it? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to. So be okay.
Let me spell out what's amazing here. What's amazing about this current question, right?
Yeah.
Is this is exactly the vagueness
Okay.
that is floating around in most of the youngsters' minds, including once upon a time my mind,
Okay.
right? So addressing it from this level of vagueness is
Yeah.
what helps us guide the others in their heads. That's
Okay.
why I want to try and explore it from this level of vagueness. You are absolutely right to ask me to specify from what angle I'm coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of people wouldn't have figured out that angle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to explore here.
Yeah. So again, I before I understand a question, I don't want to give an answer. So if whether
Okay,
it's
okay. Let's zoom in on one angle maybe.
yeah. Yeah.
I want to talk about something that leads up from exams that's more important, which is the maturity to make the choices, or rather the choice that has a domino effect on the next few years in one's life. That important choice. For example, choosing your next school, from primary school to secondary school,
Yeah.
or to JC or uni, or
Yeah.
your next job,
Yeah.
career,
Yeah.
right? That kind of the
Mm,
maturity that it takes to make that decision
mm,
from the early stages in life, even from primary school to secondary school,
yeah.
right?
Okay. I think that helps. Thanks, Amir. Again, I would only say what I've experienced,
Yes, please.
and how I approach, because even today I can face situations where I have two paths in front of me and I go to choose one.
Yes.
I think um, for me it was kind of easy. By the way, I generally feel very blessed because of all these things put together. So I got into supply chain,
Hmm.
right, back in 2005. Okay.
Okay.
I did a project as an intern in 2004. uh, I did that project, and I did not know what to choose and whatnot. I go, well, I had this interview, and they said, would you like to do this project? I said, yes, I would like to. I did the project, and since that 2004 project, I have never looked back, and I haven't had a day wherein I felt supply chain is not for me. Again, it's an example, not to get into professions here, but so I had
It suited you.
correct. It's what I became eventually. Now, of course, you can on a day-to-day basis also you go, well, I go this way or that way.
Yeah.
I usually choose the path. It's always contextual, Amir. It's always contextual, right? Um, you would definitely want to do something you always like to do, yes, but sometimes it can put you in a comfort zone, and you're going to break that comfort zone as well, right? So you go out of that and go, well, so for example, I did project management once. I had zero experience in like program management. It's like, okay, food development and all. I go, why am I doing this? But then when I look back at that 4 year period, that was one of the most learning phases of my career, right? I made a choice, right? So I really don't think there is a very black and white
No,
answer
there isn't.
I would give to
There
you,
isn't.
because then I wouldn't be doing justice to myself, because that's not who I am. Yeah,
My purpose, again, just to clarify,
yeah, yeah,
of bringing out this question
yeah,
is more of, okay. So I'm talking about it from an analyst perspective
yeah,
because I am an analyst by profession, right? It's how
mm,
I think.
yeah,
When people give their opinions,
yeah,
of course, from their own experiences, they come in from their own angle, right?
yeah,
Their
yeah,
own experiences.
yeah,
For me, it's more data to process
yeah,
so that I have more opinions and data to make my own decision,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because my decision would be based on my own factors and my own
yeah,
circumstances, right?
yeah,
So that's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying, as you,
yeah,
to borrow your words,
yeah,
black and white.
yeah, yeah.
No.
I think if I were to conclude this topic, not to escape it at all, but just because I would just say that what always helps for
Yeah.
youngsters at any stage of life is you got to have clarity of mind. Yes, sometimes conflict is a clarity. You say, okay, here is a conflict. The situation is clear. It is clarity, and then you make a choice. Sometimes you may even toss a coin, whatever works for you in that moment. And sometimes, honestly, you may not have the luxury to sit down like me and Amir in my PTO here and have a conversation. That may not be feasible. And you have to make a decision in split second, right?
Thinking on your toes.
Correct, thinking on your toes. But once you understand, once you get the knack of this clarity, right, then you would be able to have clarity even in granular moments. It would be better than if you don't have clarity to begin with. That's all I would say. So what matters is clarity of
That
mind.
summarizes it very well.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
all.
Ash.
That's all.
Okay. Um, I, I want to ask a little bit about leadership.
Yeah,
So as my existing audience and my new audience should know, this podcast is powered by an association that I've sort of created myself. It's called Sonora Global,
yeah,
and I'm leading it. It's not anything big right now. It's more of social, as I said, volunteer initiative
yeah,
and a bit of a hobby.
yeah,
But I am leading it, and I have led clubs and other initiatives and even organization before.
yeah,
So I'm always building on my experiences. But I want to get an angle from you because I've heard from our offline conversations
yeah,
how you lead your team in your job and you're pretty good at it and you have a certain way of doing things, right?
yeah.
So I mean, without going into the details that might be private, can you talk a little bit more about that leadership and what we can learn from it?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks for the kind words. I'm no one to judge on myself how good I am.
Well, that's why
I
I'm complimenting
Yeah,
you.
yeah. But I personally like to lead people. I genuinely do. It actually gives me a lot of joy in driving people, in letting them grow and whatnot. So again, leadership has many aspects to it, right? One thing that I will let me separate it out, and let's say leadership in execution,
Mm.
right? And leadership is also about giving people vision, right? So
Execution and vision.
yeah, it
Okay.
just came to my mind,
Sure, sure. Let's
right?
go with
So
it.
if I were to, on these two dimensions, um, on the execution part, I have realized that leadership is actually all about asking the right questions. Leadership is about asking the right questions. Your team will do it. Your team will do if they're motivated enough, and motivation is another aspect, but your team will do what you ask them to do. But you're going to ask them to do the right thing, right? And you ask the right question, then they come up with answers. So that happens with clarity of mind.
Mm.
I will go back on this because otherwise it becomes very fuzzy.
His emphasis is on clarity of
Is
mind.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt. So then your team knows exactly what to do, right? And then the timelines and the hows and what resources to leverage, all that follows. But if you don't even ask the right questions, you're never going to get the right answers. Number one. Number two, vision, right? Vision, where you want your team to go, is never going to work if you don't know where you yourself want to go.
Mm.
Right? Again, do you know where you want to go? And then you set your vision together. And then I think in leadership, what happens is your own ability to regulate your emotions is extremely important. Extremely important, because if you are having a bad day, right, leadership behaviors get amplified. It's said very often in leadership circles, which what it means is, if you're in a slightly bad mood, if you've got 50 followers, they're going to say, oh, the boss is in a very bad mood, and that brings the morale down. So you got to keep up with that emotional regulation. That's another thing. I think knowing your people better, and all that, again, it's just day to day. It's like leadership is a full-time job. Yeah, so I'm not going to explain the entire job description here. On a lighter note, what helps to have these lighter moments, I call this so sense of humor helps.
Mm.
I put it like it helps. It does not mean that it is a part of the JD. I have never seen a JD that actually puts sense of humor, but it actually helps phenomenally, right? You can break the monotone
JD as in,
job description. Sorry,
for those
sorry,
who don't
sorry,
know.
sorry. Okay, my bad. I think one thing I've realized also, Amir, again, not to uncover all the layers, is articulation, right? And articulation, it's not just when you're dealing with your team, but when you're dealing about your team, right? And when you're talking about their interests and whatnot. So I always talk about articulation. We've done it in our private chats as well.
Yeah.
Um, Again, that's where perhaps a little bit of elegance here and there doesn't hurt. In the way you deliver your thoughts to your team, and about your team. Again, it's a loaded topic, but that's all I would say for now.
I'm just summarizing it because you give some very good points. Execution, vision, articulation, and sense of humor.
I will let you categorize this, right? I will again. I did
No,
not.
it's okay. What I'm gathering this for
Yeah,
is to come up with a set of like transcribe this
yeah,
so that I can get out the few good points that unique to this conversation that you and I came up with,
yeah,
that we can paste in the description for the audience to
yeah.
read up on.
I just don't want to be ostracized for saying that sense of humor is a must for leaders.
I would put it this way: sense of humor and wittiness is it helps in certain situations. It helps to lighten up the
Yeah,
situation. It can help to break the ice. It can help in any variations of
yeah,
situations.
yeah. Good.
Yeah, and I've used it myself and tried to figure it out as my way through situations to handle them when they're not going the way they're supposed to or going the way I need them to. It helps. It
You,
helps articulation and sense of
do
humor.
you need practical tips on that, by the way?
Can you give me some? Can you
No,
give
no,
us
no.
some?
I felt like just dropping this in before we. Now that you actually touch this
Please.
topic, so you learn 3 or 4 words in 5 or 6 languages. Okay, okay, and you whenever you feel like you're on a Teams call or anything like that, and you feel like people are sleeping off when you're talking. It happens very often, especially in 2 p.m. sessions. Then I think you say something no one expects in a language that they don't expect you to know, and that will wake people up. Again, these things will come to you with experience. Okay, don't read a book on humor and then take a leadership role. No, that's not the idea here. Good. Okay,
Any other practical tips?
I have a lot, but we don't have time for that.
Okay.
Trust me, I have a lot, but we don't have time.
Maybe I will gather some from his offline
All right,
conversations.
sure.